A trade unionist predicts massive labor unrest. Police investigate the country's latest homicide, and the Supreme Court has 3 new faces. Good evening, everyone. I'm Leah Cooper with your JCN News for this Monday, May 31st. The Trade Union Congress leader, Obie Ferguson's labeling the Industrial Tribunal toothless, citing a number of inconsistencies when it comes to defending the rights of workers. With the details, we go to our Jcn Saunders.
During a recent United Labor press conference at the Bahamas Communications and Public Officers Union Hall, the BCPOU Hall, leader of the Trade Union Congress, the TUC, attorney Obie Ferguson referred to the Department of Labor and the Industrial Tribunal as being toothless when it comes to defending and enforcing the rights of the workers in the Bahamas. He says the trade union agreements are being ignored and both the Department of Labor and the tribunal seems useless. We asked Mr. Ferguson if he could be a bit more clear on what it is he means by his statements. He responded like this.
What I intended to convey to the Bahamian public, and indeed the workers in particular, if you go to the tribunal now, currently, and the tribunal makes an award of, say, $500 for vacation due to the worker, and if the employer says they are not going to pay it, take me wherever you want to take me. The judgment of the tribunal really and truly has no effect unless and until that judgment becomes a judgment of the Supreme Court. In other words, you have to go to the court, make an application to have that judgment converted to a judgment of the Supreme Court. And after you would have done that, if they refuse to pay, then and only then could you seek to have their bank account garnished to have the payments made. So really what we're saying that the tribunal is like a toothless bulldog. It's big, but it can't bite.
According to Mr. Ferguson, some labor disputes drag on for up to 5 years to simply negotiate an industrial agreement. He says the United Labor Unions are seeking to strengthen the Industrial Tribunal so that it is able to enforce its own rulings. He accuses the government of being an obstacle. Mr. Ferguson says the United Labor Movement is calling for there to be an established policy where rulings by the Industrial Tribunal are not appealed by the government. Mr. Ferguson says if something is not done to level the playing field for the rights of workers, he predicts massive labor unrest.
No, the employer agreed that should be done. The union agreed that should be done. And the government representative on the tripartite committee agreed that should be done. But Carl Bedell, the Attorney General, Honorable Carl Bedell, the Attorney General, he decided that the government does not minded to go that route. And that is creating a problem for the entire labor movement. And so we got to aggressively pursue that with a view of having that done, because if it isn't, then you're inviting mass demonstration and a tremendous amount of industrial action.
Mr. Ferguson hinted at industrial action beginning as soon as the 2021 Labor Day celebrations, which normally take place the first Friday in June. Jcn Saunders for JCN News.
In a bid to encourage their team members to get vaccinated, the Atlantis Resort Paradise Island announcing that they are removing complimentary testing for staff members. This leaves the burden of weekly COVID-19 testing in the hands of their staff. In a letter from the resort's Human Resources Department, those Atlantis staff members who were fully vaccinated plus 14 days will no longer have to test weekly, but will still be required to complete the daily screener to gain entry to the property. The statement continues that those who are not fully vaccinated and are continuing to test weekly with the COVID-19 rapid antigen test to gain access to the property will be responsible for paying for their own tests at Doctors Hospital effective September 1st, 2021. Team members can continue to use the Atlantis Doctors Hospital booking form to reschedule their rapid antigen test and will be required to show the receipt at the testing sites. The National COVID-19 Consultative Committee remaining true to its word, releasing a weekly update of the number of persons in the country vaccinated to date. Chairman of the committee, Dr. Mercelindale Regis, just last Sunday announced that a vaccination dashboard would be Released weekly, that dashboard reveals that as of May 29th, New Providence has had 34,344 persons receive their first dose and 7,051 second doses. On Grand Bahama, 6,796 have received their first dose and a total of 1,602 are fully vaccinated. Eleuthera with 1,354 first doses, Abaco 874, Exuma 832, Andros 603 were fully vaccinated. Cat Island, that's 252 with 3 persons fully vaccinated. Bimini 398, Long Island 324, Berry Islands 289, Inagua 129, San Salvador 101 first doses, Acklands with 32, Crooked Island with 21, Mayaguana 18, and Rum Key with 11. Total doses of vaccine administered equal 55,037, with 46,378 people receiving the first dose and 8,659 people are now fully vaccinated. To make an appointment online to be vaccinated, visit vax.gov.bs. An overwhelming turnout for those wishing to be vaccinated, according to the Bahamas Christian Council President Bishop Delton Fernander, as the National COVID-19 Vaccine Consultative Committee partners with 3 churches, that's New Destiny Baptist Church, Mount Tabor Church, and Bahamas Harvest Church, for a vaccination blitz to administer doses of the vaccine. The campaign, dubbed #GetVaccinated, kicked off on Saturday. Our news team visited the sites and spoke with Bishop Delton Fernander, who says this about why he supports this Saturday campaign.
We thought it was necessary to show that as a Christian community we could be innovative and creative. We saw that the time slot sometimes cut off before you get off from work, and we thought Saturday was a perfect time for those that had free time, that were available to come out to our churches. We're trying 3 today. Well, some of our churches obviously are available through the week, but we thought this creative initiative would be different.
Bishop Fernander says as churches, even if not for the vaccine, they are for the nation rather, being good partners for society. Meantime, Mount Tabor's pastor, Bishop Neil C. Ellis, says he's a strong supporter of the vaccination process.
Well, first of all, let me just say I am a very strong supporter of the vaccination process. The medical professionals seem to suggest that one of the best ways out of this global pandemic is through the vaccination process. I have been a proponent of it from day one because I believe this process helps us to do several things. 1, it protects us. 2, it protects our relatives, our friends, those we live with, those we work with, those we fellowship with. This is a good process of fulfilling the biblical injunction of Brain Your Brother's Keeper. So to have this opportunity today to serve as a vaccination center, I am elated, and this was a no-brainer for me.
Bishop Ellis says to be able to use members who are doctors and nurses and volunteers adds to the joy of being able to support. We also reached out to Bahamas Harvest Church Pastor Mario Moxie.
It's important for us as a church community to be involved in many of the initiatives that are that benefit society. I had so many apprehensions myself personally about the vaccine, and it really wasn't until I did my own investigation. I had the privilege of chairing the Bahamas Christian Council COVID Vaccine Investigative Committee, and as a result of that, we researched, we went a little deeper than I would have normally gone. There's so much on social media for and against, but we needed to know what the facts were, and just kind of away from the mistrust and suspicion that's out there. And once we were able to ascertain the information that we got, I felt a lot more comfortable presenting myself for a vaccine. And so I did that as early as I possibly can. Today I'm going to have the opportunity to get my second dose.
This past Sunday, Chair of the Vaccine Consultative Committee, Dr. Mercelin Dalregis, said at least 50,000 people have been vaccinated thus far. You're watching JCN News. Stay with us.